This is the WMMA Today podcast, videocast with Steve and Drake. We have a lot of first time on video, actually. We have a lot of news coming up. Recaps of UFC St. Petersburg and RIZIN 15, and then a lot of fights this weekend with Combate, Bellator, and UFC. So we'll start with the news. Really good fight. I mean, it's a good fight, but it's not going to be an easy fight for one lady. Ariane Lipski will be taking on Molly McCann at UFC Greenville on June 22nd. I don't see it as being an easy fight for Molly McCann.
No, not at all. And I think that a lot of people who know about Lipski prior to her last fight will agree with that.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't like the matchmaking very much at all, other than, can be a very good rebound for Lipski. I think that it should be pretty fun because Molly's kind of just always in your face. Yeah, she'll come at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Lipski throws down. She's the violence queen. Come on. That's the violence queen, dude. But, when it just comes to just overall, really, she's just so much more technical and refined. If Molly's best chance is off of her toughness, and the fact that I feel like if she can absorb so much that Lipski gets tired from beating her up, that's when she'll have her best chance. Which sucks to say because I like Molly. She's fun.
She's definitely a fun fighter to watch. She will take a beating, and man,
as we saw that eyeball, meatball eyeball.
Right. Lipsy's just so damn tough, man.
She's so good, and we still saw how good she was when it was on the feet against JoJo.
Yeah,
and how good JoJo is as well.
I mean that was a tough first fight for Lipski. To be honest, they really threw her in.
Yeah, I mean, but we felt that way for JoJo as well. It was both ways, but those fights, like the Lipski debut fight, that's one that I think it's gonna make people think that this is a lot more fair of a matchup than it is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Oh no, it was kind of. You just got duped a little bit if you didn't know what was going on. Because Lipski, she's still one of the best flyweights in the world. Molly's still making her way up. So, yeah, this would be massive if she can get the win here. But it will not be easy.
It's not. She's a grinder, though. I mean, she's down for the fight. She took that eyeball thing, man.
Dude, that was so fucking hefty. I'm surprised. I think we talked about it a little bit after it happened. I don't remember. But I was so surprised that the ref didn't stop it when he checked that a minute left.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they're about to rob her of this win, but they didn't.
They didn't, and she won. She ended up winning the fight. Yeah.
I bet the doctors were like, we'll give her this one. She's almost there.
Fuck it.
Who needs that eye? So gnarly though. So funny.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad fucking.
Literally like a meatball.
Like hematoma right in her eye.
But yeah, definitely not the matchup I would have made. I would have done something else, but
yeah, it's tough.
What you gonna do?
No, I mean, but it's a good fight.
I would have liked Moros versus McCann. I think that would have been a lot more logical, more fun. I probably would still lean towards.
That'd be pretty good for McCann, actually.
Yeah, I mean over Lipski, but
yeah, I mean. Lipski's just so damn tough.
Especially Lipski on the rebound. Like, fuck, dude, you're gonna get an even more violent killer than we're used to. Like, crazy. I'm excited for it as a big supporter of Lipski, because it has all the makings to be a showcase.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then that'll be surprising and upsetting. Just because you'd like to see her go places, as we all expected her to.
Yep.
So yeah. It is what it is,
Mm-hmm. All right, so UFC 237 lost a fight and then gained a fight. Yanan Wu is out of her fight against Priscilla Cachoeira. but then
Other way
Luana.
around.
Oh, no.
Cachoeira is filling in.
Is Cachoeira filling in, or is Luana Caroline filling in?
Yeah, Cachoeira is filling in. I remember.
Okay, so Anna Wu is out. Priscilla Cachoeira is filling in for her against Luana Caroline.
Yeah.
Cachoeira is a beast. Like, that's tough.
She's what is it? Isn't her nickname like Zombie Girl or something? Something like that.
I'm sorry, is that her nickname?
I think so. I was asking because she lives
Because,
up to it.
because I'm good. I'm good at nicknames.
Just because, like,
No,
going back to speaking of Molly, that was her last opponent.
right.
Um, yeah, Cachoeira looked like a fucking zombie in that one, just walking forward, taking everything that was given to her.
Yeah, she's tough as shit.
Yeah, incredibly tough. I mean, didn't go out from that beating that Valentina gave her.
Right.
Tore ACL and got just completely fucked everywhere. Yeah, I was really bummed to see that this was that you won it Wu Yanan, right? I always get the W and the Y mixed up for her, but I was bummed to see that after her really nice armbar that she pulled off against what's her name, Lauren Mueller in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was looking forward to seeing her back. The matchup kind of a random one, given her a debutant. But it's in Brazil. They like to do that with the Brazilians usually. But yeah, as for kind of a wild scrap, I think that this is kind of a lot better. To make a comparison, like when Frankie Edgar pulled out of the Korean Zombie fight, we got a matchup that was stylistically a whole lot more fun, and it turned out to be that way. Like if Frankie stayed in there, it wouldn't have been near as exciting just because the styles make fights, right? So with this one, yeah, we're going to see a lot more action. With Wu, I think she would have been a lot less aggressive than Priscilla will be. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but Wu's like smart, so
Yeah,
he's a smart fighter. So it definitely would have been a good fight. It would have been different though than Cachoeira for sure. I mean, Cachoeira is one of the toughest female fighters that there is. I mean, she's shown it in her last three UFC fights or two UFC fights.
yeah, exactly, no
Where she
doubt.
just takes beatings and keeps on going.
Yeah, tough one to put away. Because I mean, Molly, she fought smart too for as much action as she brought in that last fight. She fought really smart though, by not, I guess, engaging nonstop in like a firefight because she was on the bike a little bit while still attacking. If she just would have traded with Priscilla, who knows what would happen instead? She could have got dropped and finished. I mean, she obviously took some good damage with the eye in that fight. So yeah, this is it's going to be fun to see her, back in there at home
Yeah,
again for the first time since the UFC debut, and looking to get that first win, which is very possible in this one. Never know how the UFC jitters can affect Caroline, but she's a fun
good.
prospect too.
Yep,
So,
I agree. I mean, it's a fun fight though.
yeah,
All
not
right,
a bad
so
replacement.
all right, so let's talk about the rankings. So over the weekend, Roxanne Modafferi beat Antonina Shevchenko. Um, so the rankings came out, and Modafferi went up to number 5 in the flyweight rankings. Antonina Shevchenko dropped out, and now Poliana Botelho is at number 15. I have absolutely no issues with this. I don't think that Shevchenko should have even been ranked. Modafferi obviously should go up in ranking. Botelho is a decent pick for number 15. I mean, just to her first ranking.
I don't know if I agree with Botello in there at 15, but I totally agree. As we talked about before we went on air, Antonina should not have been ranked in the first place.
Right.
Just complete obvious hype job situation. As they're still doing with Paige Van Zant, who is in there too, and Macy, which is interesting. That's a new thing.
And Macy is going hard on that girl.
Yeah, for that exact matchup.
Yeah.
But yeah, Antonina, I mean, She didn't beat anybody ranked to get there. Um, uh, was
Yeah,
it
I mean,
one UFC fight too? Was the one before this one, was that her debut also? So it's like, come on,
yeah,
guys, we see what you're doing, and then they match her with one of the best in the division. Like, I still, we'll get into that. I'll still save it for when we talk about that. But yeah, not sure about Botello. I'd have to look at my own rankings, but definitely. Well, I guess I can't look at my own rankings since they include, everyone else from every other organization. But yeah, it's good to see that they fixed that after, and Roxy going up. I would have had her above. I mean, I did, and still do have her above Davis and
yeah,
Murphy. Not Jennifer Maya. There's
definitely not Jennifer
yeah,
Maya.
obviously, yeah, Jennifer beat her.
Right.
So yeah, never perfect with the UFC rankings, but
No, but to be honest, I don't. There's no problem with Modafari going up to number 5, and then Botello. Okay, it's
there
like
have been worse changes,
it's
right?
kind of like for sure. It's kind of like a throw in Botello. I mean, 15. It's not
Not
like they
crazy.
put her at 12.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
So finally, we actually have something positive to say about the UFC rankings. Nothing really negative about it.
for the most part,
I mean, I'm glad that Shevchenko is not there anymore.
yeah, exactly. Just ridiculousness. We'll get into that when we get
Even though I
there.
had Shevchenko winning
Mm-hmm.
the fight, but I mean, yeah, good, good call, UFC. Good call on
Mm-hmm.
the rankings this time. All right, so Nico Montano, she tested positive for Ostrin on October 25th. She was suspended 6 months. She's eligible to return May 15th, but it was all tainted supplements. Um, there were other fighters, 3 other fighters, Sean O'Malley, and I don't know whom else.
Marvin Vittori and Augusto Mendez.
So they all popped, I guess. But
Theirs are all expired, by the way.
yeah, they're all expired. So it's like a non-issue pretty much now.
Yeah, I mean,
Nico,
thanks to the the secrecy policy, the new secrecy policy.
right.
But sorry to cut you off there.
I mean, Sean O'Malley came out and said it himself, like
Yeah.
literally the day that he tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
So Nika Montano, she did say, as you all know, USADA was unable to locate the source of my contamination. This suspension has further inspired me to work even harder of achieving my goals in the UFC. I hope to make my return this summer. So she's eligible to come back to fight May 25th. No, May 15th, but she's aiming for the summertime. They should put her on the International Fight Week card in July.
That would be awesome, but I feel like they won't, just because that's really good for her, and it seems like they don't really like her. So,
They don't have to put her on the main card,
I know.
and you know damn well that they won't put her on the main card.
No, not a chance. Well, I mean, the main card's pretty much already set for that one.
Right. I mean, it's so
But,
deep. It's
yeah,
always so deep anyway.
yeah. I
If she was
mean,
the champion, so then they would put her on the main card. But
yeah. Fuck though, dude. It's like, uh, such a, such a. It's kind of
it's a letdown.
She's been a fall from grace in such a short amount of time, or
Mhm.
she's had one, not been one, but she's had one, because it's just like she goes from a super bright prospect to consensus biggest underdog on Ultimate Fighter 26.
Yeah.
Then she becomes champion as the underdog, beats two of the best flyweights that there's ever been. Roxy and Barb was the best at one point. And then, she becomes a champion, gets hospitalized for weight issues, fights canceled with Valentina for her first title defense, stripped because of that. And then on top of that, gets a fucking positive test. Like, oh, God. So within like 2 years, right? I mean, like, oh my God, brutal. And man, people give her, it's just fucking shit on her so much now, but it's like,
yeah, they pile on her.
Yeah, she's still one of the best out there, though. I mean, she proved that. And tainted supplement, not like she was TJ Dillashaw it up over there. So,
Right.
but people will treat her that way. It's because they've been hating her since before this even happened. But oh, I forgot to throw in she had the foot injuries too. So it's just like can't catch a break, this girl.
Yeah.
But also you do have to be super careful about fucking supplements these days, which is funny why fighters are still having these issues. I think people would learn more after so many tainted supplement cases have happened.
No, that's a tough thing for fighters, man. Like I think they get bad information,
Yeah.
and it's not they don't have enough time to do all their homework. They don't have freaking hours and hours to look at every little thing inside of inside of these supplements that they're taking. They just get given to them, and they kind of put their faith in it. I mean, it's a total crapshoot for them when it comes to the supplements and stuff. It sucks.
Yeah, that's pretty fair to say, I think. But man, yeah, I hope that after this everything's good. I mean, goddamn, talk about some motivation for her. She was, I mean, to get back on track. I mean, the fire insider's got to be crazy, right? I mean, I hope so. Anyways, you never know. But
yeah, I hope that it's not like just freaking killing her inside.
No, it's just
instead of like getting motivated, it's not just like fuck fighting.
Yeah,
fuck UFC, fuck USADA, fuck fighting. I just really hope that that's not the case with Nico Montano, because she has so much like to give.
Still, yeah, she was already become champion. So much more to do.
It's kind of like the GDR thing, where GDR is she has all of the make to be a pretty much like a superstar. She
especially back home.
Yeah, for sure. Nico is like the same.
Oh yeah.
She's carrying literally the Native nation on her shoulders. She was the first UFC Native American champion. That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Big fucking deal.
And I mean, she was kind of getting that treatment when like she became champion. You remember back to that time.
She definitely did.
People don't realize it as much, but yeah, she was getting. You see Valentina went to Kyrgyzstan. Was it last week? It was pretty similar stuff with Nico in her community.
It's always great to see. It's always great to see fighters go into their homes and get all the love. Like with Habib, man, they love Habib.
Yeah. For sure, man. I mean,
Conor, Ireland, the whole fucking country of Ireland got behind Conor McGregor. It's good. It's good shit, man. I love it. That's literally one of the biggest things the main things that I love about combat sports is
the support systems.
Literally from the slums and build yourself up to a champion, and everybody will be behind you, and they will love you, and they will cherish you as their own.
Dude, look at Aung Lansong, dude.
Right.
She's Myanmar. That guy's literally a fucking hero.
Yeah. Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines.
There you go. That's a good one.
I mean, the dude.
List goes on.
The dude's like a saint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But I really do hope that Nico Montano bounces back from all this fucking bullshit.
Well, the fact that she says summertime, that gives me some good hope, because that's not far away. That's not
it isn't. It isn't. I mean, she can return May 15th. So anytime after that, she wants to come back, and she literally said the summertime. return this summer. So
Yeah, I mean that
hopefully
could
they put her on that International Fight Week card. That would be dope.
yeah, that would be cool. And that, I mean that sounds like a good time frame. And then there's even I mean a late June card. I'd have to look at the calendar, but that could be possible too, depending on how fast she wants to get in
Right.
there. And I still got the rankings pulled up here too, and I think that I mean it depends on how they want to treat her on the comeback. But if you want to leave her in, kind of the range that she was at, she could fight somebody, my top two in the division, either Carmouche or Maya, which are two super good fights, but obviously super
I
hard
think
fights.
Carmouche is tough, man.
I
Carmouche
know.
is a tough fight being out for so long.
Yeah, well, both of them, man. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, Jennifer Maya is really good too, but I think Carmouche is just tough.
she's just a tough matchup for everybody, man. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously. But
Not that
yeah,
not that I don't think that Nico could beat her, because I do think that Nico has
yeah,
has it to beat her, but I just think that that's a really tough fight for her.
yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to think about, what kind of direction they'd go with her comeback because for Carmouche in her instance, she says that she's getting that everybody's like ducking her. Nobody will accept a fighter, and that's why she fought Pudilova in her last fight, which was a completely ridiculous, nonsensical matchup. So yeah, I don't know, but well, here's one that's in there. There's Murphy who recently got injured out of I don't remember which fight it was, but that one obviously a little easier. Murphy, not exactly top 10, even though she's in the top 10. Um, but yeah, it really depends on how you want to put her back in there. And then there's Mara Romero Barella, who's also always been an underdog for me in the division, kind of a sleeper, dark horse type fighter. I think that's probably a perfect best case scenario, like best matchup kind of fight for her, even though Mara's really good on the ground as well. That'd be just a gritty fight. I don't know. It's really hard to predict who she's
Yeah,
going to
it's
get.
tough. It's tough because we don't know what the UFC is going to do with her.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally have no idea what the UFC has planned for this girl. It's tough, man. But she apparently she's ready to come back.
I'm here for it. I love watching Nico fight, dude.
I know.
It's so upsetting.
It's been too long, man.
Such an upsetting journey that she's had so far.
But I mean, this could be another.
This could make the story that much greater. Yeah. History repeats itself.
There's the highs and the lows in MMA, and this could be a really low, but then it could be a really high too with this girl.
You're gonna love what I'm about to throw at you here. Imagine this. Picture this. The more you know. Imagine Nico comes back, wins 2-3 fights, 2-3. Gets a title shot. Valentina's defended like 3 times at this point. Fights Valentina, beats Valentina, becomes the champion again. What a crazy fucking story that would be, man.
You're fucking badass.
Wow.
Man, the masses would hate her.
I feel like, though, if she was to earn it back that way, let's say she beat Carmouche and Maya plus, well, even that's just fine. But then throw in somebody like,
yeah, I was gonna say that those two are just fine.
That's totally fine. Just to say that at the least, she beats them. She's really got to earn people's respect at that point. Earned it back anyways, and then go and beat Valentina. How can you hate on Nico at that point, dude? I mean,
because she's already hated on. So
I know, but
once these fighters are hated, it's really tough for them to not be hated.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Just go ask TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, once they turn, they turn. Yeah, I know. I can't even think of somebody who's been kind of a villain and then people have gotten on their side. Ben Askren, kind of, because I think that's probably the best case.
No, I think the thing with Ben Askren, he wasn't a villain. He was not known by a lot of people who just watch UFC. The motherfucker is a wrestling champion. He's a Bellator champion. He's a ONE champion. He came to fucking the UFC and he beat Robbie Lawler. Like, dude, they just didn't know who he was. That was the problem with Ben Askren.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking like back to, let's say, a year before, when he was still in one, when he was the one champ, and things were like getting a little more serious. Like, okay, we need to see this guy now. Like, no doubt about it.
It's always been he's never fought in the UFC, so he
Yeah.
can't beat the UFC people. No,
But-
never had the fucking opportunity to be
Yeah.
in the UFC. Literally, Dana White hates that motherfucker. I mean, they're cool now, but like
Yeah.
they did not like each other. Maybe Ben liked Dana, but Dana didn't like Ben.
I don't think he liked him too much. but what I'm getting at though is that, you know, yeah, you're right. He was the guy, super good outside of the UFC and everything. But then people they hated on him because he hadn't beaten any of the best guys, but
Right.
he talked the way he did and was like, I can fucking dominate all these guys. He said he'd fight Rory McDonald for free, want to fight
Yeah.
GSP, want to fight Hendricks, all in their prime. So it was just like, he was the guy who's so self-confident but doesn't get to do what he's saying he can do. And then that's what made people kind of dislike him for more towards the later half of pretty much once he left Bellator, I would
When
say.
he was in one, I think
Yeah.
it was when he was in one.
Yeah. And then now that he's getting to do what he says he can do, it's totally turned people. Everybody loves him now. It's really crazy to think about how it just.
It's hella weird because they traded literally their best pound for pound fighter on the UFC roster for this guy who nobody even fucking really like knows or likes. I mean, like the UFC casuals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an anomaly. I think that's a good way to put it.
And now he's loved. Like, because
I've always loved that man.
Me too. Me too. The dude is hilarious. He is funny motherfucker
And phenomenal at what he does.
Really good. And he's really good. He took that dipping like a champ. Robbie fucking straight up slammed him and dipped him, and like I thought it was over. I was there. I thought it was like you can hear in the crowd. You can hear
I fucking.
And then he came back.
What a moment! I'm sure. I wish I would have been there for that. I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
dude, I've rewatched that fight like maybe 3 times now, and I'm still, obviously his comeback is insanely incredible, but I'm still so impressed with before he got slammed, the balance he had on when he was working for the trip. Just like, oh my god, you can see how skilled this guy is within 15 seconds.
Dude, he's phenomenal. He's like it's like he's done gymnastics or something.
I know it's funky, man. That's the best way to put it.
But
funky.
wrestlers have really good feet, so
yeah,
it's not like really surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just so great to watch if you know what he's doing, and like if you're a fan of grappling at all. I mean,
yeah,
it's just masterful, dude. Even though he gets slammed after he's working for that, just seeing the work that he's setting up, it's like, holy fuck, dude. He was hobbling on one foot, totally fine, just like as if he had like 3 feet.
He was okay.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then big props to Robbie for pulling that off. But and then you know what happens. But
yeah. And
anyways,
and Ben wins.
Yeah. Back on track.
All right. So the recaps. We'll start with UFC St. Petersburg. Roxanne Modafferi did beat Antonina Shevchenko by unanimous decision. It was a really good fight. It was a fun fight.
Yeah, and
it's not the way that I thought it would go, but I'm totally happy that Roxy won. She's great, man. She's great.
It's so.
And I'm
funny.
glad that I'm wrong. I was wrong on this one.
It's so funny to me, man, just how people will never learn, dude. When are you going to stop counting her out? It's
tough. It's tough, though, with her, man. Like
yeah.
What I saw was Antonina just her Muay Thai and...
Well, it went exactly how we thought it would, right? Nobody should have been surprised at how things went out. Their strengths were obvious. It was evident. Their weaknesses were obvious.
Yeah.
It was... There's no other way that fight was going to go. And I think a lot of people, from what I saw, they thought it was super clear. I honestly thought that it was a lot closer than I thought that the third round was really close to a 10-10 because Roxy got pieced up pretty much every chance that Antonina had. And then, she had that grappling dominance and control, which, I slightly edged it to her there. Definitely think a fair Roxy win, but I mean, yeah, they did what they're best at to the best of their abilities. Can't be surprised by that, man. I mean, it was they just shouldn't have made this matchup. That's the biggest issue for me is this is such a bummer, unnecessary setback for Antonina. Like we talked about it last week. Fucking no need to rush Antonina into this. I mean,
Mm,
going her against literally, well, yeah, literally the most MMA experienced person in the division.
for sure.
Dude, she's got 7 MMA fights. I mean, 8. I don't know, not enough to get on to be on that level of grappling with somebody like Roxy, who's still surprising us in other ways. I mean, she's been revitalized since going to Syndicate. Um,
Yeah, one of the most underrated gyms
yeah,
in
period.
MMA. I mean,
Uh,
they just look what they've done with John Calderwood. Now Roxy's doing great again, you know?
yeah, I mean, yeah, great. That was her main training partner for this matchup, which
Right.
good person to replicate Antonina, even though JoJo would beat Antonina too at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think so.
I mean, yeah, Antonina. Okay, let's get this straight. Antonina is still, a phenomenal prospect in MMA, established one of the best Muay Thai strikers there is. One of the best strikers, period, in out of the women. But this was just they shouldn't have done this, man. But yeah, it's good to see Roxy keep getting the UFC wins because I mean it's
She's
such a
going for
still
that title shot again, man.
such a crazy career turnaround. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on she could even get Carmouche next. I mean, who knows? That's a very just Carmouche is tough for everybody, as we said, but
Yeah.
that would be some logical matchmaking there. A lot of options, but yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Um, when people gonna learn? That's my main thing to take away from it, dude. I mean, what
Yeah.
I don't even know how big an underdog, but sizable, too big. Um,
And she's higher ranked.
yeah,
Antonina wasn't even, or no, she was 15, right?
she was 12, dude.
Oh, was she 12?
She was 12.
Right.
And then they're like,
Obviously,
whoops,
she
we
shouldn't have
made a
been
mistake.
ranked.
See ya. Took her out
Yeah.
completely. Uh, yeah, just hilarious. But yeah, no, it was good to see. And I really think that she did um, for the most part, a lot better striking than I kind of imagined her to. Like early on in the first round, particularly, she was really coming forward and she landed a big shot. I remember, I think within like the first minute, I was like, holy shit, Roxy's coming in here looking to prove a point. But of course, as we were saying, it came down to their strengths, which shouldn't be surprising, man. I mean,
Roxy got that sweep.
yeah, that was fucking gorgeous. Uh,
Phenomenal.
I know. I was like, you seeing it coming a little bit. You're like, oh, she's about to do this. Antonina, she's not experienced enough to know what's about to happen and on her back. But
Yeah, I didn't watch the fight live, but I kind of tweeted with Steffi Hayes about it, and she was like, "Yeah, the sweep is worth watching the whole fight." And I went back and I watched the fight, and I was like, "Yeah, that sweep was fucking beautiful."
yeah, I mean, she's just been doing it for too long, dude. It was just, I don't know, just the experience difference. I hope that it acts as it probably won't change any of the UFC's matchmaking routines, but I mean, don't
But
do this.
she is number 5, so
Yeah, like what? Who are they gonna make? I don't know. It's just such a bummer for Antonina because even though
it's kind of a letdown for her, you know.
yeah, it's because I think that at least I like both of the Shevchenko sisters, honestly, but I fucking hate when in general, in all of MMA, I hate, specifically with the UFC pretty much, when they fucking put people into situations that that they shouldn't be put in, like unnecessary pushes and all that stuff. Like, come on, man. You're obviously you're hurting them more. I mean, you learn from a loss and all that, but you're rushing it, dude. Let her build up. I mean,
and they're actually doing that with Macy Barber. They're building her. I think they're building her the right way.
Yeah, so far so good. I think, especially as you saw how that last fight with JJ went, where she saw some adversity for the first time.
Yeah, she got hit.
Yeah, showed that was good matchmaking there. Not too fast. It was just perfect.
Right.
And then I think Paige fight totally is fine now at this point for her.
It's a good fight.
Because Paige is just kind of, very slowly still. I mean, she was getting beat for most of the Ostovich fight, so.
Yeah, that's a good fight for Macy.
Yeah, that's the one to make for them. But yeah, for Antonina, I don't know. Maybe give her the winner of Cachoeira and Caroline. Somebody.
That'd be fun, Cachoeira and Antonina.
Oh my God. Put her against both the Shevchenkos. I didn't even think about that.
Could you imagine the madness that would be?
Yeah, that'd be pretty
my biggest takeaway from that fight was Valentina being really fucking annoying. With her, hey!
Dude.
Hey!
She's like that, and it's so funny because she does it.
Hey,
on the little list of shots. Hey, it might be more to distract the opponent than anything.
It's fucking distracting me. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
I didn't notice it as bad for this one as
it was bad
as for. I think it was her last fight against I forget who it was again, but Antonina's last fight, it was like nonstop because Antonina was doing better. So the better she does, the more haze you get, the more strikes landed.
Who's worse, Valentina or Eddie Alvarez's wife?
Honestly, I've never heard the Eddie wife stuff.
You just don't pay attention to this shit.
No, man, I don't.
Do you watch Muted?
No, I don't actually. I'd get really zoned in. Okay, I remember.
Because Jesus Christ, how can you not hear Valentina? And by the way,
Eddie
Alvarez's wife is loud.
I know she's one of those things that people point out. The one I remember the most is I think was it Woodley's mom in Strikeforce. I remember that one was pretty bad, even though she's a saint too.
I ain't gonna hate Woodley's mom. I fucking love Woodley's mom. So.
That's the one I remember, though. Always being like, because they always showed her like, "Here's Mom Woodley in the crowd." I'm like, "Oh, great." I hear some noise. Yeah, it's always funny when there's those loud family members in the crowd. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
I guess.
Whatever works.
All right.
Anyways, congrats, Roxy.
Yeah, good fight. Very good fight. All right, so RIZIN 15 was also over the weekend on Easter Sunday for us. Early Easter Sunday.
Very early.
For you and I, West Coast people. We'll start with Rena. Rena, she defeated Samantha Jean-Francois. It was a unanimous decision. Mm-hmm. Francois looked really good. I mean, in the beginning, especially that first round, she looked really good. And then Rena just took over pretty much. I mean, toward the back end of the fight, the third round and stuff. That was all Rena.
Yeah. Samantha, she got tired out as the fight went on, which surprised me a little bit.
But honestly, though, that's what Rena does.
Yeah. Or she just fucking destroys you.
Pummels.
But it was really solid. We expected her to really fucking beat the brakes off Samantha. But no, it was more impressive on Samantha's part, I think, for, you know, surviving and having some really solid moments. There were some really fun, you know, grappling exchanges.
Right.
I'm trying to think, was it if it was the Reina fight or the Watanabe? Yeah, I think it was the Reina fight where she was in mount and then John Francois threw her legs up and they got in that weird.
Oh yeah, they were all
I don't even know how to.
Oh,
Yeah, it was all messed up. That was in the second round.
Pretzel.
Yeah, yeah. So there were some really fun moments, and Reina was really digging for some arm bars multiple times. I think she maybe went for 3 attempts.
Yeah, she
Got
was
close with
really,
one
she
of
was
them.
really going for it. Like she thought she had one. She thought that was it for her,
Gosh, dude,
but it never came to fruition.
she's so good. This is. I fucking hate doing this because, you know, people do this with Connor all the time, but this is. It just continues to show how good Kana is. You know, Kana Asakura, because
Right.
dude, Reina can hang on the ground, man. Obviously, we've seen it in every fight except for those Kana ones
Yeah.
where she just gets beaten in that area by her. So, man, atom weight, it's such an underrated division. Even though this was not atom weight for Rena here, but yeah, man, just super talented, that chick. Known for her striking, and then pretty much in, you know, grappling heavy fight, does her thing out there. Yeah, man, that's good shit. That's it was good to see her get the win again.
Yep.
After the weight issue and then the loss, and then the weight issue. So yes, always looking forward to some Rena.
Yeah. All right. So another fight was Kana Watanabe. She defeated Stina Haba by unanimous decision.
We did a pretty good call on this one, huh? Predicting this one.
Yeah, I think we did.
Because, yeah, I mean, Haba, dude, in the striking. I compared this after I woke up from after watching RIZIN. I did like my little final thoughts on it, and I was like, you know, that fight, Haba versus Watanabe, was the RIZIN version of Modafferi versus Shevchenko, because Haba, man, she did fantastic in the striking, was winning pretty much every striking exchange, had fucking landed some real solid shots on Watanabe in I think it was the first round or early second. That like really, like, you could see they dazed her a bit. But then this Watanabe is so fucking strong and such a good grappler, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more the strength than anything, because, you know, Haba was able to find some moments of success too and defend pretty well in certain moments. But just Watanabe hit too much in that gas tank. She's too experienced. But I think it was a fantastic showing for Haba.
Yeah.
Going against somebody with a significant, so, you know, 6-0, 6-0-1 versus a 1-0. Obviously, it's not a lot of combined MMA experience, but the gap there between them is huge for those stages in their careers. You know, a 1-0 to go against somebody with 7 more fights than them overall, a big gap. So I thought it was incredibly impressive to see how she did. And, you know, we knew going in she was a good prospect, and this just further proves it, even in loss. I think her stock goes up, honestly.
RIZIN will definitely have her back.
Yeah, she's still one to watch. A really admirable performance. I mean, yeah, and Watanabe did what Watanabe does to get the win. I mean, it was honestly more impressive. I was more impressed by Haba.
By Alba, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but Watanabe was really good too. So we can't take anything away from her. She won the fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Watanabe still, especially in that third, you know, she pretty much dominated that whole third. That was her best round.
That was the best round for her.
Almost got to finish late. She was really raining those elbows in there. It was nasty. My biggest problem, if more to harp on Watanabe, even though she won, she seemed to go more for trying to get the ground and pound finish over submission. In the second round, I remember when she was in mount and she had Haba's arm trapped over and she was dropping the elbow to like the top of her forehead. I was like, man, you could really go for an arm triangle right here. You know, she had like a full minute to work, but she wanted to go with the ground and pound, which Hoppa wasn't having that as going to be the exit, you know. So still, they're both still learning. Let's put it that way.
For
But
sure.
they're both still fantastic prospects. Don't get me wrong. Both fighters that are continually fun to watch. So yeah, it was a really fun fight as well. But yeah, Haba, man, can't say enough about that performance, even in defeat. So,
Yeah, I agree. She was really good. All right, so
here we go.
yeah. All right, so Murata.
Choo choo, choo choo. Get on the train now.
She got the Von Flute choke. Her second one
in a row
in round number 2 with in the 2-minute 12-second mark. Damn.
Dude.
Crazy, man.
What a fantastic performance. Pretty much what we thought was going to happen too, except
she's so damn good, man. She's phenomenal.
Arguably, there's so many good prospects at 115, but she's up there, man. Tough. She's one of the best. I mean, dude,
that's a tough division worldwide.
Yeah, it's continually just getting crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't see anybody outside of the UFC that can beat her right now. Honestly, that's how good she is. Just the way that she was able to literally push Orozco around at certain moments was just like, okay, there's levels to this shit.
Yes, definitely levels to this shit.
The fucking when she had that Darce grip in there, but she wasn't going for the Darce because she wanted the knees. Like, oh, you savage, you fucking little savage.
Yeah,
it was dirty, and the way that she adjusted midair to do the slam to get into the Von Prue, just like, okay, the fight IQ there is just fucking astounding. You know, I mean, like, you don't see that very often, if ever. I mean, the Von Flue choke in general is a very smart submission.
Yeah,
and the fact
incredibly smart.
2 now, and the way she set it up. I mean,
she's smart. She is so smart. Inside that cage, she is smart. She's tough to beat, man.
I know. That's why I was saying, I don't know if I said it to you. I know I tweeted it, but I was like, fucking, it's a shame, you know, if she would have didn't get injured against Jacobson, would have been Jacobson, got put in the tournament,
right?
Would have went on to become the champion.
But we'll see her in RIZIN for sure.
She said she wants to fight in RIZIN in July.
One more, and then Invicta, she'll go back to Invicta.
She said her next fight's going to be in Invicta in June. So she wants to go month after month Invicta RIZIN, which I'm all for that too. If you give me more Murata, the better.
Beast, man.
Like, yeah. And I'm thinking, I mean, why not just put her against the champion?
She wants to be the champion. That's what
she wants.
She's shooting for that championship, man.
Yeah, give her whoever wins the tournament, which is it's next week, isn't it? It's almost here. It's almost fucking here. Can't wait. Give her whoever wins the one night tournament, new Invicta strawweight champion. Let them fight in June. I mean, why not? I don't want to see Heather Jo Clark versus the winner. No offense, but that's the only other person, right? All the other people.
I wonder how mad she is that she's not in the tournament.
I feel like she's not that mad since she got to fight in RIZIN again, but definitely I'm sure she wanted to be. You know, if she would have fought Jacobson instead, even though Jacobson lost to Kay Hansen and is still in the tournament, I mean, I'm sure that they could have had her in there anyways. I mean, come on. All the Asian fighters are down for, not to stereotype, but they'll do a tournament. Right. But yeah, man, cannot say enough good things about Murata. Tough prospect to be right now. Only 25, just dominance. Yeah, I mean, if Invicta doesn't give her the champion, then what? You got to go Heather Jo Clark, right? I mean, which
I guess, yeah.
Well, why not? But dude, Mizuki fight. That's a good matchup. Moranjan, I think that one's winnable, just considering what we've seen from Moranjan's losses. Unless she's improved drastically heading into this, it's going to be exciting to find out. You know, I feel like we'll get that much more excited once the tournament's over.
Yeah, the tournament's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
so good for the sport, man. I love tournaments.
I fucking know. I can't wait. And it's just so innovative. But
Yeah, it's cool that Invicta's doing this doing this tournament thing.
yeah, yeah. So if you haven't seen that Murata performance, check it out and don't miss any future ones.
I mean, honestly, all of the RIZIN cards,
Yeah, exactly.
if you
That's
can watch them, watch them. They're
yeah.
fun. It's just fun MMA.
Yeah, and even the kickboxing fights thrown in, like the
Right.
opening one, you saw that one, right? Taiga
Yeah,
versus
I
that
did.
was nuts because Taiga was putting it on him early, and then second round, totally different story. So yeah, man.
Kickboxing is a fun sport, though. So
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, man, I think that we, assuming that Murata's not too attached to RIZIN and wants to advance her career, we'll see her in the
right,
UFC by mid 2020 at the latest. I mean, her trajectory is it's fucking going.
for sure, I agree.
I'm a big Murata homer though, so but I think at this point she's proven she deserves his praise.
No, I mean, she has two Von Flue chokes in a row.
Crazy.
In a row, like that's pretty badass,
Yeah,
man.
that's you're not gonna see that from another female fighter in a long. I mean, shit, only Ovens and what? What was Von Flu's first name? They're probably the only people who have multiple.
Right.
She's joined a very exclusive club.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, phenomenal stuff.
All right, so we have three big cards coming up with really good fights coming up this weekend. We'll start with Combate on Friday. Combate Americas. It's pretty much a women's card. I mean, the top three fights, the main event, the co-main, and then the one right before the co-main. They're all women's fights. So out of five main card fights, three of them are women's fights.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Melissa Martinez and Caroline Gallardo. That's the main event. Melissa Martinez. She's fun, man.
another great strawweight prospect.
Yeah, for sure. She's a fun one to watch. Um, the co-main event is Kyra Batara, who was originally supposed to fight Angela Magana, but I mean, we all know what happened to Magana, and she's obviously doing okay. Thankfully, it's good. But Francis Hernandez has her work cut out for her against Batara. That's Batara is not an easy win. And
Yeah,
then Polyana Granados is back. She'll be fighting uh, Bravo Barrios.
yeah, I'm seeing there's the G there.
What's the G?
I don't know. Gloria. Okay, I know Gloria. She
Gloria
fought fuck,
Barrios.
yeah, she fought Melissa Martinez a while back too. I remember when we were previewing that one.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because that was a really fun fight we were looking forward to. I remember that. For Combate 18. No, that was 2017. I must be thinking of something else. We definitely weren't doing the podcast back then.
No.
But I remember maybe it was the other one. Either way.
And then going down the card, there's three more other female fights. So I mean, this card is stacked with women's fights.
Absolutely. First two amateurs, so maybe we'll see some people to look out for.
Combate has turned into one of the better MMA promotions to watch on a not weekly basis yet. They're not doing weekly shows, but they're like,
They're getting pretty consistent though.
yeah, it's really consistent. It's kind of like LFA type
Yeah, that's a good one.
of consistency.
Yeah, because
And they actually go head to head with LFA a lot.
Yeah, man. Let's see here. We got 35, which is Friday, and then May 10th. This is 37. I don't know where 36 is. It says 37. Then May 2, Vincent May, June. Yeah, they got a pretty solid schedule for what they're working with at the moment. And as you said, usually fun shows. I unfortunately don't get to watch them as much as I probably should, but I know you've seen them. You've been to them.
In the two. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And then they're coming to Stockton, and I'm not going to be here. Fucking bummer.
Bum bum. Oh yeah. It'll be good.
Yeah. So then we also have UFC Fort Lauderdale. Only one fight, but it's a big one. What, two?
The Hill and Escobar fight.
What's the other one?
Hill versus Escobar.
Yeah.
We're all focused on the other one, though.
No,
sorry, ladies.
Definitely
It's
focused
time.
But Angela Hill and Escobar, that's a really good fight, to be honest.
Yeah, that will be fun.
I mean, what, Hill just took over last week, right?
Yep. Yeah, I know. I feel like we broke it down last week pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of did on accident.
Yeah, we just kind of got into it. I mean,
yeah.
But I think we both have Hill winning.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be close because this fight, it just means so much for both of them. It's probably winner gets cut, to be honest. This is kind of save your job kind of fight. 2-fight losing streak for both. Jody doesn't have a UFC win yet. Massive implications for them personally. But yeah, I think Angie's just, I do like Jody, but I think Angie's just more refined, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to go against Angie there. But I wouldn't be surprised, though. I think it'll be close. I'll take Angela by unanimous decision. It should be a primarily striking fight. I'd be super surprised if it hits the mat. And if it does, it'll be because Jody took it there. So it's my quick pick.
Yeah, I think I'm about the same. I think I have Angela Hill winning, just probably by unanimous decision. It's not really an easy. It's not an easy fight to pick.
Yeah,
because they're pretty evenly matched.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so former champion Carla Esparza is fighting on this card against Virna Jandiroba.
Oh, Kaka. Time to fly. I'm so ready, dude. And now I'm pissed right now because I'm seeing on Wikipedia it says the fucking prelims are going to be on ESPN, so I won't be able to watch at Bellator. Fuck.
Why can't you watch it?
You can't watch ESPN on your phone, can you? From the channel, the ESPN channel.
ESPN Watch.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll simmer down. You'll have to help me out with that then. But anyways, yes. It's time. It's fucking time, dude. I'm so excited. This is the fight, one of the matchups fights that I was hoping that she would give her a debut. It happened because of an injury, but we'll take it.
Whatever.
Totally take it. She's long overdue. Should have been in the UFC months ago. And what a fantastic. I think that it's really weird to describe it. I feel like it's a perfectly difficult matchup for her.
It's not easy. As far as it's hard. She's not an easy win. Former champion.
Yeah, but I mean, Jandiroba is so sneaky talented. I say sneaky because a lot of people have no idea yet. Like those who have been watching her know exactly what we're in for with her talent. But yeah,
like you say, the female version of Damian Maia.
Yep, strawweight Damian Maia, man.
And it's just
nasty.
That's literally what she is. If you can picture Damian, if you don't know who she is, and you picture Damian Maia, that's what Virna Jandiroba is. Yeah, that's a hell of a good thing to be too. I mean, Damian Maia is a bad motherfucker.
One of the best jiu-jitsu players of all time. And I'll repeat it again because it deserves repeating. I'll say it every podcast if I have to. Jandiroba beat Claudia Gadelha and Amanda Nunes in BJJ competition twice. She has 2 wins over both of those people. One of them outweighs her by 30, 20 pounds. Holy fuck.
Depends on where she's fighting.
Yeah, exactly. So if that doesn't tell you how good her BJJ is, I don't know what's going to, okay?
She's excellent.
I mean, obviously the big one there is Nunes, but Della barely gets out grappled herself. Never been submitted in her career. Yet, Jandiroba doing the damn thing. So, 14-0, 11 submission wins in her career. That's more than Rose and Namajunas has in total fights. I'll throw that one out there too, because that's a fun one. That's a fun fact. Yeah, fucking. I think that she's bound for top 5 sooner or later. We've both thought this. She's already like number 10 for me right now, just from a logical ranking standpoint. But skill wise, she's going to be in a league. She'll be a staple.
Rocketing.
Yeah, man. I mean, and her striking's only getting better. It's already phenomenal at setting up her ground game to get the takedown. Really lulls people into believing that she's going to stand with them. Mixes it up well with the jab and the head kick. It's just. But then once she gets you down, you're either down till the round is over, or you're submitted. That is the storybook of how her fights have gone so far. All 14 of them, it has been that way. And that's why the Esparza matchup is really interesting for her first one in particular, because Carla, her striking has gotten better. She's been primarily known for her wrestling, which makes sense. A very strong wrestler, one of the best in the division, hands down.
I'm not sure that she wants to go to the ground in this one, though.
Yes, that's the thing, though. So it'll be very interesting to see if she does test that. And then if she does see Jandiroba work off of her back, which we don't really see, but no doubt she can do that. She's more of, a control from the top jiu-jitsu player in MMA from what we've seen. But, yeah, totally confident in her work off the back. But, yeah, it just seems like way too risky for Carla to want to do that. And then on the feet, though, I'm not totally sold that she can dominantly outstrike Jandiroba just because – I mean, the length is not in her favor, which it never usually is. But
right, she's tiny, so
yeah, and she's been advocating for atom weight lately, even. But I could see. I think that it's honestly more likely that we see Jandiroba go for a takedown before Esparza, because she's one of she's the best in the division, the best BJJ player in the division. So, I mean. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets it there either. So I won't be surprised when it goes there. but yeah, this is such a perfect debut for her because it puts her right where she should be in the top UFC ranks, even though Esparza is on a skid. Still rankings wise,
but she's still like loved,
Yeah, former champ. She's actually 9. So this will be perfect. This will put her right where she actually is.
Number 9, 10. Yeah.
Yeah, right where she should be. Even though unlike mine, and I'm sure most people's put her up a little higher than that, but that's fine. That's a great way to start. Not a lot of people get to start that way. Olivia Souza, who was supposed to fight Esparza, which I was happy about that matchup being made, so sucks she loses out on it. Fucking terrible first 2 matchups for her. Like totally underappreciated her by giving her nobody she should have been fighting. No offense to them, but Olivia Souza is also top 11, 12 at the moment. Very good as well. I want to give her a shout just because it sucks to see she lost out on this fight. But anyways, Jandiroba is going to submit Esparza in round 2.
Round 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably have it 2-3. Since you're going 2, I'm going 3. I mean, one of us will be right, I think. But I think that Jandiroba gets a sub. I don't see it going to a unanimous decision or a split decision. Yeah. And I don't see Esparza winning. I don't know. It's really tough to see Esparza winning because Jandiroba is so good.
She's so dangerous where Carla is comfortable. That's the problem, right? She's at her best where Carla is most comfortable. I don't want to say dangerous from Carla because she's honestly not that dangerous of a fighter. I mean, she has more finishes than people realize, but not too lately. More of her pre-UFC days.
Before, yeah, it was a long time ago.
But yeah, I mean, Jandiroba, dude, it's just like just waiting to break out, and this has all the makings of that. What was I gonna say? I mean, Carla could be really hungry to bounce back, but just not a good situation. Because Jandiroba's so hungry to get this opportunity, just been waiting for this. And the thing I really love about her, outside of her for phenomenal skill set, she's just so fucking humble, dude. Like, which I think is incredibly important for somebody who's undefeated, 14-0. Really important for someone to be humble and understand that you know that they can lose. Like when I talked to her for my interview, so shameless plug of the week a while back. She's it's funny seeing you now react to my shameless plugs. But, she said like she understands that no one is unbeatable and not even her. So it's just like she knows she's going to lose one day, but and knowing that is I think really helpful for someone who's undefeated and a champion. She's you know she's the lineal champion until she loses.
Yeah.
And Ali Malay, give a shout out to who we'll be talking about in a sec. Kind of a similar attitude, which I think that just makes especially undefeated fighters so much better when they understand that they're not overly cocky and stuff, which cannot describe either Ali Malay or Jandiroba in any sense. So I just think it's going to be tough to beat Jandiroba, especially in a moment like this. So cannot wait.
Yeah. Excellent fight. I mean, it finally we get to see Virna Jandiroba.
Thank you, MMA gods.
It's finally happening. It's something that you and I have been talking about since we started this podcast.
Yep.
Fuck, when is Virna coming? When is she coming? And finally, it's here this weekend.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's gonna be. It's just so great. Even if she does lose, at least she's here.
Right.
But
I agree.
I might want to throw a bet down on this because I wouldn't be surprised if Carl is the favorite just because people don't know about Jandiroba yet. That's a great.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't looked at the odds or anything like that for this week, but
definitely a good underdog bet right there.
If she's the underdog, I don't know if she is or not.
I would bet, dude. Roxy was underdog.
That's true.
So,
all right, so Bellator 220. We're both going to this event.
WMMA today in SJ.
Alima McFarlane. My favorite fighter.
The Eliminator.
Yeah, she's literally probably one of my top 3 favorite fighters to watch right now. Flyweight world champion, Bellator champion. She'll be taking on Vita Ortega, who is not an easy fight. But Alimale she's growing as a fighter. Her ground game is amazing. And it's weird because she only has nine fights. And 3 now as a champion?
Yes. Well, 3 title fight wins. This she has 2 defenses and then the title fight win.
Right.
To win the championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. You can't not love Alima. I feel like she's one of those fighters, she's just so likable. And like with Jandiroba, from a personality standpoint, incredibly humble, just a super good person, just an overall good person. Would be shocked if there's any scandals in the future from either of them. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy that she is still growing. And she's already so good. She's arguably the best flyweight in the world. I know she might be yours.
She is mine.
She's my 4, I think. But yeah, she's fantastic. And this fight with Vita it's a really interesting one to me, because the better fighter, no doubt about it, is Alimale right now, unless she loses. That's just how it is. Vita, though, she's one of those opponents where like she's such a. It sounds offensive to say a dog, but she's such a tough fighter. One of those fighters who's always, just in your face, kind of. She's super scrappy. I guess that's a good way to put it. So I kind of imagine it as being one of those fights where Alimale is doing her thing the whole time, but Vita will not go away. Like kind of similar to Rocky versus Nunes, or I like that comparison better than Andrade versus Joanna. But one of those kind of fights, because even though I think that Vita she's going to have one big moment in this fight at least, just because of how durable and relentless she is. She pushes the pace like fucking maybe no one else does in the division, in Bellator anyways. So yeah, I think it's got all the makings to be a really fun fight. It's hard for me to bet against Lima though, just because she's a much more technical and skilled fighter. A bit of a slow starter too, which she admits,
Yes.
which makes the opening rounds arguably the most interesting. Even though, man, I don't know, just the first and the last round I think can be super crazy. It's a really
Vita really just has to go hard in the first round.
Make it dirty.
He has to.
Yeah, I mean, even though I was kind of surprised that Vita got the title shot, and I don't know if I would have given it to her over Juliana Velasquez, who is undefeated, which I want to ask Alima about this week. It's just kind of the matchup, and Vita, she's one of those fighters who makes every single fight close, no matter who it's with. There's a couple people like that. I mean, I can't think of a good example right now, but there's those fighters out there, like they might not win them all, but they're in them all, just to make a quick rhyme. Yeah, I don't know. I could see it, and because of that, I could see it being a split. But I don't know if Vita. It's tough, man. It's tough to think, but it's impossible for me to pick against Alima. But it's like, I feel like there's such a never know feel to it, and especially Vita having 5 rounds also, even though Alima hasn't gone into the championship rounds yet either, because she's such a finisher. So yeah, I mean, this fight I think should easily be fight of the night, dude. I mean, not just saying that because we're big fans of the women's fighters or Alima or Vita. I really like Vita also. But just the style matchup. Oh, right, the Dakota fight. Okay, so when Alima went and became the champion, that fight went to the 5th round before the armbar, which was a really good fight too. All Alima Leigh's fights are great.
They're all fun.
Yeah, man. I'll be shocked if this fight is not good. like they're just both such fun fighters. But yeah, again, like I said, it's Alima's just that much better, So yeah, I think it'll be a decision though, and she even feels that same way. I saw one of her interviews with James Lynch today. Shout out to James. She said she thinks a round 2, most likely submission, just because she's usually whips those out, or a decision, hard fought decision. I agree with that decision, man. Vita's just such a fucking gamer. Yeah, I can't wait for it.
I don't think that it's gonna be a decision. I think that Alima Leigh finishes. She's phenomenal on the ground, and she's continuing to grow. She's still growing.
It's scary.
Crazy. She started late, so.
Well, it's funny too, because when I was like in my preparation for just this weekend and stuff, I was looking at it, and overall in combat sports, she's actually 16-0, which it kind of feels that way just when what you're saying, how good she is and everything. A 9-0 fighter who kind of feels like she has a lot more wins than that because that's how good she is. But yeah, what is it? She's got 2 combat jiu-jitsu match wins, which was for EBI. Yep. Yeah, so that's 2, and then the 5 amateur or whatever. My math might be off there, but either way, she's never lost. She's got that same attitude though as Verna, which I think makes her that much more dangerous. She's super humble. She thinks that she's going to lose every fight. That was also she said in her.
She goes in thinking. Like,
all right, it's over.
She's going to lose the fight, and then all of a sudden she fucking pulls out some shit and she wins the fight. But that's like why when she actually pulls off the sub, why she's like in shock of the sub of her own sub. Like she's not like, oh, I'm the best ever. No, that's like totally not who she is.
Yeah.
He literally goes into the fight thinking that she's going to lose the fight. I mean, she might be mind fucking herself, trying to play mind games with herself. I don't know. Like that's
Fueled by fear.
yeah, I don't know what she's doing with that, but I mean,
Working.
it's working for her. So keep on doing that, Lima Lay,
Yeah.
because you are phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
I have her winning probably like I think it goes to the championship rounds. I think she probably wins like the fourth or fifth round, fourth round.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I sub.
I mean, regardless of how it ends, I think it's a war, man. I really do. They're just those type of fighters. And I think Vita's really going to bring it out. So
yeah,
I feel like we could see similar to Nan versus Lee a bit, like kind of craziness. That fight, one of my fight of your candidates. So fun. So yeah, so really looking forward to this one, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a fun one. I mean, we have a ton of fun fights all together in this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with Combate on Friday night. A lot of women's fights.
Hell yeah.
So next week we will recap all of these fights, Combate, Bellator, UFC, and then we'll talk about all the news of the week, which we normally do, and then we'll talk about the following week's fights.
Yep, and we're gonna try to do it live. That's the plan for this week. We'll see.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, Drake and I. Return next week to recap. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend.